evening all. Right, let's see who is first to be able to tell me where I am tonight. Let's have a little look. Can anyone tell me? Hi Carl, Stephen, good evening. I'm a little bit early, yeah, about a minute early I think. Evening Jane, how you doing sweetheart? Lovely to see you all. Hi Michael. Now I'm on the mobile, so hopefully, Divergent Party, good evening, hopefully the reception holds out. Peter Green, good evening. Nicola, I can see you all piling in now, fantastic. Lovely to see you all, thank you very much. Who can tell me where I am? Obviously I'm not in the UK, I'm in Spain, but does anyone know where exactly? Let's have a look. Let's see if I can, yay, Benidorm. Someone got it right. Let's have a look. Sally got it right. Mr. Allen got it right. And the World Around Us Open also got it right. Good evening, one and all. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Lovely to see you all. I am out visiting my daughter. Well, she's been out here now a couple of weeks. And you know what I'm like, so here I am. And the good news is that it's so bloody cheap to fly out here this time of year. It's cheaper for me to fly from Gatwick to Benidorm than it is for me to get a train from Brighton to Birmingham. Unbelievable. Yep, it's 10 PM here. Good evening from Cornwall. Lovely to see you all. Turn the sound up, Paul. Really? I've got the mic right close to me. Hopefully that's loud enough. Can everyone hear me all right? Let me know. So, let's have a little look. 1,500 people in the room. We will get started. Good stuff, loud and clear, lovely. Evening Claire Bear. Big thanks to Ian tonight, one of my mods, who's been clearing out some mess in the messages today. If you see anybody posting a message asking you to reply to a WhatsApp, it's a scam, please don't do it. It's not from me, it's from a phony account. Yep, look, good evening all. Far too many for me to mention by name, but I can see you all piling in. Thanks, guys. The temperature, it's not that warm to be fair. I mean, it's probably been about the same as at home, a little bit warmer maybe during the day, but at night it's quite chilly. Yeah, it's nice to be out here for a few days. Lady waving behind me, is there? There usually is when you get a camera out. So, let's get into it, shall we? The warmonger that is Keir Starmer. What is this guy? What is he up to? What is he doing? I mean, I've been... Oh, look at this cat, look. Hold on a minute. I would make a joke about Benidorm and pussy, but I'll probably better not. What is Keir Starmer up to? What is he playing at? Kid Mambo, good evening. Now, I've been trying to keep my eye on what's going on at home, obviously, and around the world. See another attack in Germany today, absolutely terrible. Seen some dreadful pictures coming out of Germany today. I don't know if any of you have seen any of them, but oh my God, terrible. I don't know what that's all about, but I think the main thing that I want to chat about tonight is Starmer, Zelensky, Ukraine, what is going on. Now, the last Labour government that we had, I'm sure we all remember, every day when I look at my X account, there's picture upon picture of our lads that never came home from Iraq or Afghanistan. We all know what the last Labour government got us into. A phony war. Now, I'm not an expert on that part of the world. I don't know the ins and outs, the rights and wrongs of Ukraine and Russia. Like most of you watching, we're just laymen, right? We're Brits, we live in the UK. And yeah, of course, we want peace, right? Anywhere in the world, we all want peace. Thank you, Mystic Turtles, appreciate that. We all want peace, right? We don't want to see any wars being fought anywhere. We don't want any bloodshed anywhere. We just want the world to live in peace. But that's a pipe dream, isn't it? It's a pipe dream when you've got idiots like Starmer in charge of countries. And I've seen enough over the last 48 hours. If anyone was in any doubt about was Trump right or wrong, was JD Vance right or wrong, were they right to pull Zelensky up at the White House? If anyone's got any doubts about that, personally I never had any doubts about it. I think Zelensky is an arrogant man. I think he's a cash collector. I think he's been running around the world collecting money. Remember, this is a guy that was a comedian, an actor, and all the rest that goes with it, right? Now, I'm not saying that I don't have sympathy with the people of Ukraine, Evening Warhawk. Of course I have sympathy with the people of Ukraine. I have sympathy with the young men from Russia as well who are being sent to a war they don't want to be fighting. Neither side wants to be fighting this war. Pauline Pace, thank you very much. Get your grandbabies a toy each. Oh, bless your little heart. Thank you, Pauline. And I will as well, thank you. There's body bags being sent back to Russia, to the Ukraine. Young men, an old man's war being fought by young men. Chris Carr Jackson, thank you. British boots in Ukraine, not in my name, Starmer. Well, this is the point, isn't it? Starmer has told the world that the people of the UK are behind Zelensky. Well, let me tell you, Keir Starmer, no, we are not. Right? Don't speak for us. A very small amount of people got you elected in the goddamn first place. Don't you dare speak for the people of our country. Don't you dare. Because we do not want our boys and girls anywhere near a war or a peacekeeping force, so-called peacekeeping force of Russia. When you talk about we must get boots on the ground and planes in the air, well, I tell you what, pal, you fly them, you pilot them, and let's see your son's boots on the ground before you send anyone else's son. It makes me so goddamn angry. You tell me in the chat, does Starmer speak for you? Does he speak for you when he says we want boots on the ground and planes in the air? I don't swear on my channel, but do you know what, Starmer? You can go F yourself. We are not interested. You can't even look after our own borders. You can't even protect our own people, let alone someone else's. Cheers, Steve. Thank you very much. Paul, take a day off. You're on holes. Actually, I'm not really on holes. I'm just here. I'll be honest, we had a family birthday, so I had to nip out and just deal with that. Mr. M. Allen, thank you so much. God bless you. Have a kavasa on me, Paul. Cheers, mate. Look, listen, at the end of the day, we saw what happened under the last... What is it about Labour governments and wars? What is it about all these politicians, all here, and all this in Parliament, right? How many of those bastards will be out in Ukraine with their boots on the ground? How many of them will be flying a plane? None of them, not a single goddamn one. Laurie, more worried about Starmer than Putin. Exactly. I don't believe that Vladimir Putin has any designs on the UK whatsoever. I don't believe he has any designs on Poland. I don't believe he has eyes on anywhere else. This is a problem. This is an internal problem. And for those that don't understand the geopolitics, and I'm not saying I do, but for those that don't understand the politics of that part of the world, it's a little bit like, as far as I'm aware, it's a little bit like England and Scotland having a Barney. I know it's going to be a bit more involved than that, but it's a bit like England and Scotland involved in a fight. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. And us expecting America to get involved. I mean, what do the Americans want to get involved in this war for? What do they want their boots on the ground for? Trump is a very, very switched on man. Nina, thank you, Nina. Hi, Paul. I really don't trust Starmer or Zelensky. Trump, I think, knows what they are up to. He does, Nina. You're spot on. Trump is a very, very switched on guy. But this is the thing with Trump. This is what a lot of people don't understand. He's not really a politician. He's a businessman. Like he said the other day, he makes deals. And he does very good deals. And he wants to do a deal between Ukraine and Russia, and he wants to end the war. He wants to stop the dying. He wants to stop the killing. He wants to stop Russian and Ukrainian mums, dads, brothers and sisters mourning the loss of their young men. And who is it that pays in every single war? Have we not learnt a lesson from the war of 1914, 1918, the Great War, so they called it? It weren't very great for the people that are involved. But even after all these years, have we still not learnt a lesson? That it is the young men that die, the old men that make the money. It is absolutely unbelievable. Right across the world, it is now, as someone just said in the chat there, sorry I didn't get the name, but it is time for peace. It's time for peace in Ukraine. It's time for peace in the Middle East. That's a different story because you're dealing with a whole different league of nutcases. People that don't want peace. But I believe the Russian people want peace. I believe the Ukrainian people want peace. It's the leader going around the world with his bucket, right, collecting cash, and there are companies across the globe that are benefiting from war. Cole, thank you. It says, I'm very happy Trump is my president and not a snake like Starmer. God bless Trump. Sending love from the United States. God bless America. God bless the United States. God bless the American people for standing with us in our desperate hour of need. And this is a desperate hour of need for the British people. Because make no mistake, this is my fear. My fear is this, is that, God forbid, if it all kicks off, the UK will be Russia's example. They'll make an example of us. We are the #1 target. They're not going to kick off with America because it's too costly, too dangerous. Who's America's #1 ally? Or who do they look upon as their #1 ally? Us. So Starmer, don't you dare tell the world's media that the British people are behind you or behind Zelensky. We might be behind the Ukrainian people in many respects. That's a different story. But we ain't necessarily behind their leader, who, in my opinion, acted like an absolute weapon at the weekend. Everything about the man, from his attitude, sitting there with his arms crossed, I mean, who does he think he is to go to the White House, the Oval Office, and speak to Trump and JD Vance in that way? Look, I admire men that stand their ground, but not in that fashion. The Angling Nomad, thank you, mate. Not in that fashion. That is not the way to behave in front of a world leader. And not the way to behave in front of a man that is trying to bring peace. Zelensky, do you not want peace? Because that is what it looked like. That's what it sounded like. That's what it looked like. It sounded to us, it sounded to the world, as far as I can see, that you're a man that is going around the world, cash collecting, drumming up more potential problems, telling America that they've got to get involved. He's done it today. They've got to get involved. No, they haven't got to get involved. What have they got to get involved in your row with Russia for? Exactly. No profit, no peace. It is absolutely outrageous, and it's crazy that these people are being allowed to run these countries. It is just mind-boggling. The world is just effed up completely. What has happened to the world, not just the UK, but right across Western Europe, and around the globe, what has happened in the last few years? It just seems to be being run by absolute lunatics. And the one man that is trying to get things right and make peace, guess what? He's not a politician. He may be the President of the United States, but Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. And he is the standout individual in the world that is trying to get things right. He's trying to stop the body bags from coming home. Was that Danny there? Yeah, Danny, yeah, she's back in the room having a shower, mate. Are you out alone? You need your psychic there with you. Yeah, Danny, where are you? You've let me down, brother. Just a quick mention for our dear friend Richard today. God bless her. He buried his mum today. So, yeah, Richard, love and best regards to your brother if you're watching. Yeah, 22 million pound black hole. We are sending billions abroad. Billions. Overseas aid, Ukraine, you name it, we're sending money. We are the biggest mugs in the entire world, but we're not mugs, are we? There's something else going on here. Something else has to be going on. How can we be importing all these unchecked men and then potentially sending what few troops we have across? It just does my head in. I'm sure you guys, most of you at least, will feel the same. If I'm wrong, if anyone out there thinks I'm wrong about Zelensky, tell me, let me know. Let me know why. I had a very good friend of mine sent me a message actually just before I left to come to Spain. And he had the ump with Trump. He said he thought Trump was over the top and made Zelensky, tried to make him look stupid. And I had to put him right. I had to say, mate, no, not at all. Thank you, Alison. I had to say, no, not at all, mate. You've got to look a bit more into this. Zelensky was the one. He was bang out of order. What a way to behave. Listen, I've done a few business deals in my life and I've been in some big important meetings with some important people. And I can tell you now, that attitude that Zelensky displayed would have got no one anywhere in the business world. Anywhere. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. You know, it was a terrible way for him to behave in front of the President of the United States. And by the way, do you know what? The more I watch Donald Trump, the more I listen to him, the more I watch the way he just is, the way he is around his kids, the way he is around his grandchildren. Do you know what? I think Trump is an utterly decent, honourable individual. I really, really do. I think he's got a heart of gold. The Anglian nomads sending Storm Shadow missiles into Russia was mad. All that stuff is mad. Keep our bloody noses out. Keep our noses out. We do not want problems anywhere in the world, particularly with countries like Russia. And what I don't understand is that whilst Starmer is telling the world, playing the big leader on the world stage, telling everyone that, oh, you know, we're going to put boots on the ground in Russia. You can't even put boots on the ground in bloody Dover. What the hell are you talking about? Absolute crazy, absolutely crazy. And this leads me on to another subject, just moving on slightly from, I mean, it's all related, isn't it, right? It's all related. Oh, well, look, there's something, right? So we've seen Carol Vorderman today. Who's the other old bloody, what's her name? Emily Maitlis. We've seen the Daily Mail, all the usual suspects supporting Zelensky. Well, I tell you what, Emily Maitlis, I tell you what, Carol Vorderman and Gary Lineker and all you lot, I'll see you there, right? I'll see you there. Trump has just suspended arms to Ukraine, and so he bloody should. Here's the deal, Gary Lineker, Carol Vorderman, Emily Maitlis, the editor of the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail have been at it today, right? Telling everyone that we should cancel Trump's visit to the UK. The King can shove it where the sun don't shine as well. I'm over with him, I'm done with him. King my arse, he ain't my king. I'm livid about all this, right? And here's the deal. The reason I'm livid is because I know whose lives are going to get lost or whose lives are going to get affected by this, and it ain't none of the people that I've just mentioned. So all the Carol Vordermans of this world, all the Emily Maitlises, put your car keys on, do a Zelensky, get your gear on, right? Mind you, the thought of Emily Maitlis, enough to frighten anyone off. You get your gear on and you get out on the front line, you put your boots on the ground before anyone else, before any of our boys and girls. I'm sick to death of these bloody so-called news editors telling us what we should do with our lives. Do you know what? Every one of them can get stuffed as far as I'm concerned. The media, the mainstream media, not only have they become anti-British, they've actually become a hateful bunch of people who treat us like we're absolute fools. AJ Audits, thank you very much. The British public don't want that money to go to Ukraine. It will be better, let's have a little look, be better spent in the UK where it's needed more. Absolutely. Does it take a politician to work this stuff out? We've got our pensioners freezing at home, all their heating allowances stopped. You know, I get emails from people all the time that can't do this, can't do that, and we are sending billions of pounds. It is just mind-boggling what is going on. No wonder I've got high blood pressure. God, you are such a patriot over there in Spain. Don't be a pillock. Oh dear. So if you go to Spain for a few days, you can't be a patriot. Jesus Christ. The brains of some people. Love it, honestly. Oh dear. So all the time you got people like the Emily Maitlises of this world and the Daily Mails and all these journalists telling us that Zelensky's a good guy. You know something's wrong, right? What else do you trust them at? What else do you trust them with? Nothing. Funny enough, someone's just said there, look, what's that? Benidorm has more English people. Do you know what? It is absolutely crazy. I said to my wife earlier on, all I'm hearing is English people everywhere. Wherever I go, all I'm hearing is English voices, which is more than what I hear when I'm at home in Brighton. I hear less English voices in Brighton than I do here. So, looking at the whole thing, Zelensky is a grifter. I don't like that word grifter, but in this instance, I think you're right. Nicola, hey mate, how you doing, brother? Attaboy Paul, tell it exactly like it is. The woke in the mainstream media can stand up for Ukraine if they want, our government should be standing up for us. Absolutely. All these, Nick, what a great point. All these woke pillocks in the mainstream media standing up for the people of Ukraine, telling them that we should go along and help them defend our borders. What about our goddamn borders? This is a wind-up. Is it not a wind-up? I mean, it's just beyond me. Did Zelensky really call Vance a bitch? Look, I don't know. That's what's being reported. I don't speak Russian or Ukrainian or whatever language he speaks because, I mean, I've heard tonight that he had to learn to speak Ukrainian because naturally he's a Russian speaker. I don't know. But look, here's the deal, right? Let's get on to the next topic, right? Because this is quite an important one, really. I mean, for a long time now, politically, it's been really difficult for a lot of us because we are not happy with the situation at home. Cole, thank you so much. Hope the English people realise they can't keep voting in this direction. Labour Party should lose party status. That ain't going to happen for any time soon, but I wish it would. But here's the thing, you know, look, we've all been worried about, we've all been sort of going backwards and forwards. Should we be voting for reform? Can we, thanks Nigel, can we vote for reform? Can we support Nigel the way he's been behaving regarding Tommy, etc.? Look, I've got a fairly big video coming out in the next couple of days that I did before I came here. I don't think we've got much choice. I really don't. I think we are in such a mess right now. We are in such a mess that we have very little, if any, choice now. And whether we like it or not, well, look, watch the video that's coming out. It's a big one. I hope you're going to like it. I thought about it long and hard before I did it. But we're in a mess. We're in a position that I never ever thought I would see in this country, our country. I never thought we'd see it. And there's been, I'll get to another topic in a minute, a really, really, really big one. It's not a subject that I like talking about very much. It's about civil war, and I'll talk about that because I've always tried to avoid that subject because I don't like it. It's a horrible, horrible thought and a horrible possibility. I'll turn the camera around. Thank you very much, Stash, really appreciate that. Lee says, Levante Beach looking good this evening. I'm out in Benidorm tomorrow. I'll keep an eye out for you. By the way, before I go any further, big up to the Fulham boys yesterday, beating Man United in the FA Cup. Yeah, so let's talk about this civil war thing that is being spoken about a lot in recent days. Now, the guy, I forget his name now, I did try and remember it earlier on, but his name's gone out of my mind. Margaret, as far as I know, Tommy is okay, but obviously not brilliant. All of our communications have ceased. We cannot speak to each other. My request to the governor to go and see him as a friend has not even been answered. Thanks, mate. AH, appreciate that. G-Man, 1970. Sorry, Paul, I won't vote for Nigel. I don't trust him. Look, I'm not going to argue with you, but here's the thing, G-Man. Who's the other horse in the race for us? And it ain't UKIP, mate. They don't stand a goddamn chance. Whether we, you, anyone else likes it or not, It's not going to happen.
Live news in 5 minutes. Welcome.
How's you, Paul? I'm from Newcastle. That looks lovely. Thanks, Ryan. How you doing, mate? Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, look, I've got to tell you now, I feel a lot safer walking around here than I do in Brighton, that's for sure. I'll probably get jumped and beaten up now. So let's talk about the Civil War stuff, right? And it's not something that I really like to speak about too much, but I will say that I don't think, I mean, this guy, he was an ex, does anyone remember his name? Can you put it in the chat for us? What was the guy's name that did the video of Nick Buckley yesterday? Anyone remember his name? He's a professor or something, a very, very well educated Professor David Betts, that's it. Thank you, Omi. Appreciate that. Mancunian lad here. Congrats to Fulham yesterday. We were terrible. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Look, he's more qualified to talk about this stuff than I'll ever be, right? But I listened very intently to what he had to say about the stages of civil war. And I'm going to disagree with him, and I'll tell you why I'm going to disagree with him. I don't think a civil war, thank God, is possible in the UK, and I'll tell you why. Evening, Irish Paddy. I'll tell you why I don't think a civil war is possible in the UK. Because to have a war, you have to have arms, right? You can't, you know, a war is not a few people having a fist fight in the street, is it? That's not a war, that's a punch-up. Now, depending on your definitions of a war, I know what my definition of a war is. You need arms, and the British people are not armed. I've said this before, Crown Car Silver, great video again, thank you, mate. The British people are not armed. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know, I'm not going to get into that debate, you can decide for yourselves. The British people are not armed, and in all honesty, the people that would, well, let's just say, Alan Wilden, thank you so much for that, I appreciate that. The people that we would be potentially at conflict with are probably better prepared than the British people would be, but there wouldn't be enough of them. Or at least I don't think there would be. So I don't think that a civil war in the UK is a genuine possibility or a genuine threat. Yes, people can take to the streets with things other than, you know, regular weapons that you'd associate with a war. But I don't genuinely believe that that would happen. Could we see mass civil disturbance? Well, that's a strong possibility, but not an out-and-out civil war. And I think, I've got to be honest with you, I'm not so sure that it's a good thing to sort of talk that sort of stuff up as even as a possibility, because I don't believe that it could happen. I don't think the British people, in all honesty, would, in all honesty, I don't think the British people would be up for that sort of stuff anyway. I think that the whole nation has been infested with a woke virus to the point where most of them will probably back for the other side. So no, I don't think. Thank God, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Just trying to have a look at some of the chat coming through. It's coming through so fast. No to war. Yeah, no to any bloody war. But Starmer seems intent in. Let's have a little look here. Nick Cooper says Vance is a coward and a bully. Rightio, Nick. Well, I tell you what, mate. If Vance is a coward and a bully, Nick, I look forward to seeing your flight ticket to Ukraine tomorrow. Send me a snapshot of your ticket, and you can nip down the army surplus, buy yourself a pair of army greens like your mate Zelensky. I'm sure they'll be pleased to give you a rifle when you get over there, and let us know how you get on. Fair point though, mate, right? That's a fair point. Whether you like what I've said or not, it's a fair point. You know, Vance and Trump are trying to bring an end to this war, right? So if you want to carry on with this war, if you want to see young men coming back in body bags, don't sit behind your computer screen tapping away saying Vance is a coward. Put your money where your mouth is. Fair dues, right? Good luck, Nick. Yeah, exactly. Scott Wilson, Zelensky paying us back with frozen Russian assets. Don't know how I feel about that. Puts a target on us, doesn't it? The whole thing stinks. The whole thing stinks. Brian Co, Paul for Prime Minister. I tell you what, if I was, you'd all be better off, I know that. Linda Stone, thank you. Zelensky doesn't want a ceasefire. He told Trump that. He's getting richer, started with nothing, owns yachts, several big houses and posh cars. Well, look, all those millions that have gone missing, they're now unaccountable for. Over 5,000 people watching. You guys are unbelievable. Watching an old git walking along Benidorm Beach, look. It stinks. The whole thing stinks. And Starmer is up to his rotten adenoids in it, isn't he? Right? Watching Rachel from accounts there today. Is there anything more galling in the world? Have you seen anything more galling? Epic 2000, thank you, mate. Has everyone seen the video of Based and Bougie challenging the ex-archbishop? We need more of this. The church needs its mojo back and our movement needs to stimulate change. Based and Bougie, love her. What a star. What a girl. Big, big future for that lovely lady. Is there anything more galling today than watching Rachel from accounts nodding her head like one of those dogs in the back of the car, right? Talking about, when Starmer's talking about boots on the ground and planes in the air, and she's sitting there nodding her head. Oh my God. Unbelievable, simply unbelievable. Thanks, Ian, appreciate that, mate. Here is a woman, right, who has allegedly lied about her work experience in the past, has somehow managed to grift her way into the position that she's currently in, and she now wants to send our young men and put their lives at risk. I can't tell you what I think. And all those on the left, this is the good part, right? We get to the good part now, right? This is a little Brucey bonus for us that think correctly and that have the ability to think for ourselves. Is our little Brucey bonus. All those on the left now, all those little lefties with the blue hair and all this that support Starmer and Rachel from accounts and Jeremy Corbyn and all the rest of it, they're going to get confused now, aren't they? Because most of them like to tell you that they're anti-war, right? So maybe they should be the first ones. If Starmer wants to start, how about that? How about we introduce a bit of national service, or we can have a voluntary scheme where all these people that are behind Zelensky and want to stick their Ukrainian flags on their Facebook accounts, right? River Deep, thank you for the wandering Benidorm old git. Cheers, mate. All those people that want to stick their little Ukrainian flags on their Facebook accounts and make themselves feel good, well, I tell you what, let's have a little voluntary system where you guys can be the first ones to sign up, right? All you blue-haired lefties in Brighton and wherever else you are, you can be the first ones to sign up, and you can shoot off to Ukraine and you can do the job for them. All those people that live in this country that can't, or live in our country, not this one because I'm in Spain right now, but all those people that live in our country that want to stand up and stick up and vote for Starmer, Sign up. Here's your first job. Your tune will soon change. Trump the peacemaker, absolutely. Yeah, Lynn says, how can Vance be a coward when he fought in Iraq? Lynn, let me tell you, the cowards, the real cowards, are the ones that sit at home behind their computers, tapping away, slagging people off like Tuesday and me and Richard and anyone else that's allowed or that is up for putting their face on offer on the internet, and they sit there and slag off everyone else without lifting a goddamn finger and doing anything in their lives themselves. That's the bottom line. Don't listen to them. Liz says, hi Paul, I wish Trump was running the UK, absolutely. Tommy, Lefty, your time is up. Your calling card's waiting for you first class. Yep, mass deportations, please, Nigel. Get the illegals out, spending all the taxpayers' money on hotel accommodation. Here's a little story for you. Here's a little situation that has recently arisen. Where I used to live when I was in business, and I was doing very, very well and living the life that perhaps Epic 2000 is. Anything being organised for St George's Day? Not sure at the moment, mate. Thank you, Paul. Where I used to live, and I was living in an area where I didn't really belong. I was living in Stockbroker Belt, Surrey, if you like, when I was in business. Very, very nice area, very affluent. And there was a hotel, or there is a hotel just around the corner. A very, very upmarket hotel and spa. Really, really nice place. I mean, like, you know, 5-star, nice place. I've just been told that it's been taken over. And they're going to be using it for asylum seekers with the all the facilities, the 5-star facilities. The property prices in the area have slumped. People all of a sudden can't sell their properties. What do you make of that? They do love a spa, Paul. They certainly do, don't they? I bet this place in the summer is absolutely heaving, don't you? Unbelievable. Everyone's British here. The lefties first, yeah, the leftards first. Yeah, let them go first. We'll sign them all up, shall we? Please step in now, King Charles. I don't think there's much chance of that, do you, with him? What a nightmare he's turning out to be. Send the illegals to Ukraine. I mean, it's just like we've been living in a bad dream, isn't it? Let's have it right. It's like we've been living in a bad dream, and this is all a bloody wind-up. Thank you, Guitar Note. Do I think the Queen would have? Do you know what? I'm not sure about the Queen. I mean, as she got older, bless her heart, she got bitten by the woke virus a bit, didn't she? You know, it's like, this woke stuff, all this lefty stuff, it is literally like a virus. Thank you, Ian, very much. I really appreciate that. I can't see if there's a message with that, Ian, on my phone. I'm not quite sure, but thank you anyway. So, yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's just mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling what's going on. And I wish that we could get rid of this Labour government, but I've got to tell you, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Like I said, I've got a big video coming out in the next day or so that I thought long and hard about making. Some of you might agree with it, some of you might not. I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on what you think of it. This is like Little England. It really is, it's like Little England. Look, we've got a little scooter over here, look, with the old St Andrews, the Scotland flag, look. Mind you, the colour scheme on the bike looks a bit St George, doesn't it? Quite crap weather in Spain at the moment. Yeah, it's not been brilliant. David, thank you. So if our forces are in Ukraine, what will the sleeping armies be planning here? Don't get me started on that one, mate. That's the one that my wife goes on and on and on about. Everyone started to shut up. I am in Benidorm. It's what England used to look like, Paul. It doesn't seem to be any potholes there. The roads are brilliant. Yeah, the roads are brilliant here. I'm so pleased, to be honest with you, I'm so pleased that my daughter's got out. The British Patriot, thank you, Paul. Have we learned anything from our past? History will repeat itself. Blair sent our boys to their death. Starmer will do the same. Please God that doesn't happen. But when will the people of our country learn? You put Labour in charge, you know what you're going to get. Unfortunately, we go back to the old problem of apathy. The British people and their political apathy really should be legendary across the world, shouldn't it? Because we've really screwed ourselves. When Russia invade, Starmer can blame the Poles on enemy artillery. Some of them are big enough from where I am, I'll tell you. Yep, some of them are big enough, that's for sure. Any Ramadan celebrations going on? No, nothing at all. All you hear here is church bells. I'm so pleased that my kids have, or one of them is getting out, the other one's out. I'm so pleased they're out. I want them to stay out until this Labour government. I want them to come back. I want them to come back to the UK. Yes, I am in Spain. I want them to come back in the UK. That is where they belong. But I don't want them back until it's safe for them to come back. The fear, as a father and a grandfather, the fear of them going out on the streets, thank you, Peter, was just becoming too much to bear for me personally. Barbara, I don't think Russia want to be starting a war too much involved. I mean, we've seen the problems they've been having with the Ukrainians, let alone the problem with, or the fear with Russia and us is concerned, is that if it kicks off between us and Russia, you know, the capabilities that they have. I mean, let's be honest, Russia could finish that war in Ukraine with a flick of a switch, but they resist it. Could they resist it with us? Susan, Paul, if you see anyone talking bad, don't read it out. You're right, Susan, sometimes I can't resist it. But I love it here, it's so nice. There's Katie was talking about it, Katie Hopkins was talking about it the other day. That when you come abroad, you feel a sense of relief. You feel a sense of, it's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. Nice little Cockney walkabout tonight. What's the time there, Paul, mate? Well, we're an hour in front. Yeah, we're an hour in front. Evening, Clarkie. Massive audience again tonight, guys. 5,500 people watching. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do as well. And by the way, can you check that you're still subscribed? Because I think YouTube dumped a load of my subscribers a couple of days back. It happened in like a 24-hour period. So please make sure that you are still subscribed. If you're not, please do. Please give us a thumbs up. That would be really appreciated. And what's that from Dolly? I'm a Texan and an American taxpayer. Americans have seen how the world turns on us when one time we don't hand out any free money. We only have allies if we pay for everything. Dolly, you're spot on. It's not the job of the American taxpayer to be the world's policeman. As far as I'm concerned, our relationship with the United States should be a mutually respectful one. We pay our way, you pay your way. You can be the gatekeepers out in America, we can be the gatekeepers in Europe, or together we can stand strong like we have done in years gone by. But it's not fair in the world to expect America to foot the bill. Right, let's give you one last look around before I disappear. Let's have a little look. Hello, Lubna. Lubna, good evening. Lubna, by the way, I watched your video about you not being English. And I know what you were saying, and I understand, I really do. But I've got to say, to me, you're a true Brit. And people like you, we love you, right? So I know the message you was putting across. Please take this the right way. But you are one of us, right? So that's for sure. Right, guys, with that, I'm going to love you all and leave you all. Sorry for the shaky camera. Stephen, Fulham for the cup, absolutely. What's Benidorm like this time of year, Paul? Do you know what? It's actually reasonably quiet now. I mean, sadly, the weekend was busy. It's going to be heaving in the summer, though. I am not sure that I will appreciate the huge British presence here in the summer. So if you're coming to Benidorm, show some respect, behave yourselves, and make a little bit of an effort to speak a little bit of Spanish. They really do appreciate it. I'm trying my hardest. Let's have a look. There's another message there. Hold on a minute. Sally, thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Lubna is a gem. Alan, absolutely she is. Right, guys, going to love you all and leave you. We've been on for just under an hour. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll be back before I return home. Thank you very much. Have a pint on me. I appreciate it. I'm very grateful to all of you for tuning in. And we will see you all soon. God bless you. Look after those children, as always.